Hey, welcome everyone. This is Friday the 3rd, I think. Wasn't that Friday the 3rd? Second. Anyway, so healing. We have a live seminar coming up here in Oklahoma City about how you can heal your body, and a lot of people, when they have an illness or they're going through a physical thing, usually what they're going to do is they're going to say, my body is sick, my body is broken. Chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, ME, Hashimoto's disease, or lupus. And of course, modern science or medical communities, they look at the body as, it's got a problem, and of course, there's a lot of research showing the power of the mind to heal itself. And most people don't realize this, but our bodies, our limbic operating system has a natural built-in healing capacity. That means it can heal itself. You get a cut on your hand, the body knows how to heal, or the brain knows how to use the body to heal itself. But when we're working on today's body, and how we heal ourselves, I remember the very first time I ever really tapped on myself, and I had a pain in my shoulder, and I was actually leaning on it, and I was using the old style, EFT style, and even though I have this, I accept myself. And I kept doing this, and the pain actually was fading away. But the real question I asked myself, well, why did it work? Is it because I'm using numbers, sud unit? Why is it actually working? So it took me a long time to get to the understanding of how the mind works and how the brain has this natural ability to update itself and to transform itself to heal ourselves. And, of course, working with a lot of different people over the years, and we're talking about since 1999, I remember a woman who came to the house, and we're taking massage classes together, and she had pain in her forearm, and from 0 to 10 it was a 7 pain. And I said, well, how did you hurt yourself? She said, well, I was in a car accident, and I went off the side of the road, and off the road she was driving, it was only her. And I said, okay. And one of the things that I realized that is a very important question to ask people is, what else was going on in your life at that point in time? And she said, I just broke up with my boyfriend, and I'm driving home, and obviously she's sad, and then that's when the accident occurred. So what I did is I said at the home, I started working on the experience of being dumped, and the experience of having the accident, and addressing the experience of going through therapy. Now, although before I started from 0 to 10, it was a 7 pain, and she said it's always a 7, it's never less. And then after I addressed what I would call the pivotal point, the cause, the memory, as I changed the memory, we came back to present moment. I said, check your pain. And she moved her arm, she said, it's gone. So it's never been like that. And so the reasoning that this happens, you have to understand, pain has a message. Pain is designed to keep you safe, based on an emotional experience, or based on a fear, or based on an accident. Because remember, when you have an accident, you cause pain. Pain is there because it's injured, but then the brain holds on to the pain, because if it reminds you of pain, you won't step on it, or you won't move it to cause more pain. Well, the problem is that sometimes we never let go of that memory of pain, and that memory of pain keeps recycling, and actually it compounds over the years, and then you'll be professionally sick and ill. I know it sounds a bit strange, but I've worked with some people with severe pains. I mean, like incurable pains. One of them is a student. Her name is Rose Hartgrove. She had lupus in her blood system. And of course, when she came to the seminar, she was very desperate, had a lot of emotional experiences in her past. She's a psychiatric nurse. She'd been exposed to a lot of stuff. Well, she came to the level 1 seminar, which she rallied to get money to come to the seminar. And Fritz Miller, he's a poet of Faster of Tea, and he's now graduated and moved on to the next level. But he kept encouraging her, he supported her, he gave financially, and she came to the seminar. Now, of course, at that time, we had like about 100 people there, and she wanted me to give her a session, and I couldn't. I had too much stuff going on, but what I did is I hired 2 of my practitioners to help her. I paid for it, and I told her clearly how to do this. And again, I told her to address the belief system, address her mother, because she's talking about this stuff in seminar, and it seems live. And of course, when you're ill, it almost becomes an identity and value system. We got our arms wrapped around and holding it. And so after she did her session, she rolled out in her wheelchair. She said, I started noticing my lupus symptoms disappearing. And of course, she's had it for like many years. And she was in the seminar, and of course she started doing the session. She started working on herself with my training system. You can change yourself, level 1. And she started using this. And again, that was in October, August, and in February, always I do level 1 in Oklahoma, except for the crazy pandemic stuff. And so again, Fritz Miller said, hey, are you gonna go to Oklahoma to level 1 again? She said, no, I've already done it. I said, no, you need to go again. He says, if you don't go, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. So he manipulated her to come there, right? So now, instead of walking with a cane or just rolling around in a wheelchair with a four-legged walker, she's now walking in the seminar. Now, she's in the seminar training, and she gets a bunch of phone calls. And it happens to be the doctor that she went to go see before she left to come to Oklahoma from Colorado. And she said, it's really strange. He never calls me more than once. He just calls, leave a message. Well, what happened is he called and he said, the lupus is no longer in your blood system. It doesn't show the markers there. And again, that's only from August or September to February, but she was doing the work. Now, what was the work she was doing? The same work that I mentioned earlier. If the body is an honest expression of the truths you hold within your mind. A lot of times we're about numb this way up. We don't know how our brains work. We don't know why we're sick, but we are. And most of the time we point and feel it in our body. So we don't know the mechanics of the mind. And that's what I teach, how the mind works. And so to change and adjust the experiences of the past, to adjust and change the emotional positivity we get from having the pain. I know that sounds a bit odd, but the woman who said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And of course, of course I started asking her questions in the session. And again, she's constipated, she's always had pain. And I do a little history, tell me about your life as a child. She says, I was a latchkey kid and my mom was a nurse. She was always away and working except when I was sick. So neurologically and emotionally, and just like ring the bell, feed the dog, she felt loved when mom was caring for her. So her illness escalated, believe it or not, after mother died. So now she's spending more time with doctors and nurses. So there's an emotional connection. As I started working on this and working on, the pain, and all of a sudden some ideas came out of her mouth. He says, if I heal, who will love me? Again, remember, she felt love when she was sick and mom cared for her. So now she's going to doctors and feeling love. And then the next point she said, if I'm not sick, I'd have to get a job, because by the way, there's benefits of being sick. You get SSI and you get to lay home and be miserable. So these are some of the key components. We create an identity and a value system and emotional attachment to pain. Now, it's not a good friend, but there are good reasons at the unconscious level. Knowing how to make the deep shifts within the mind, adjusting memories and keeping the gift. That's one of the things is, the woman said, well, if I heal myself, I lose my husband. I said, what do you mean if you heal yourself? Because, he depends on me to be sick. I said, well, you only have healing, sick and with a husband, well with no husband. What about well with a husband and really having a great time with your life? So there's a lot of oddity about our ill bodies. The body isn't really ill. It's just expressing illness from the memories in which we hold. Now, we've seen miracles happen. Doctors seen miracles happen. John Sornos or any of these other guys who did scientific research. And the power of the mind to heal itself is what I call the placebo effect. The placebo effect is they're not getting a real surgery. They're not getting real drugs, but what they're doing internally in their mind, they're using what I call the universal pattern of creation, and they're using a certain process to actually heal the body in spite of the fake drug or the fake operation. Now, the nocebo effect, it means you're getting the right surgery, you're getting the right medication, and you don't heal because they're both doing the same thing inside their head. And what I'd like to invite you, especially if you want to help people, those of you who are trained in my system, and those of you who would like to start the healing journey, come and join us in Oklahoma this month. We have, I think it's a 5-day course. You can heal your body. And it's really for anyone who'd like to work on other people or anyone who'd like to start their healing journey. Now, I honestly believe that you're already healed, but the physical expressions your body is holding can be adjusted by merely changing what you hold in your mind and what you practice on a daily basis mentally. You know, it is really strange that what you think about, you bring about. What you worry about, you bring to you. You know, we call these affirmations. And so one of the things is I'd like to invite you to come and join a life-changing experience. That doesn't mean you're going to have complete healing in one day. You could. I remember, she came to level 1, you can change yourself. She got sessions every day from practitioners. And when she left, her fibromyalgia was gone. Boom, gone. Healed, she said. But when she went back home, it took about 6 to 8 months for her to generate and recreate the pain. Now, the pain is a reminder of what you're not addressing. And I said, well, were you tapping on yourself and working on your daily emotional issues as they trigger you? And she said, no. I said, you've got to keep your head clean, because if you don't use a new coping skill, you'll go back to what created the problem in the first place. You know how many people I've seen who come to my system, then their lives change and they feel good, their body's good, the relationships improve, and then they go home and they stop using it. Hello? This stuff that I teach is a toothbrush for emotional health. You brush your teeth every day, you keep them. If you address your daily emotional problems, you stay healthy. If you go back to handling how you used to handle stuff, you don't get any better. So I'd like to invite you to start a new way of life. And we call this Emotional Intelligence 101, neuroplasticity in practice. Become your own behavioral engineer. Redesign your life from inside your mind. And whatever you choose, it's okay. You know, it is what it is. But if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, it's time to do something different. And I'd like to invite you to come join us, not just for a day, but for a lifetime. Learn how to like you from within you. This Robert Jean in the great state of Oklahoma. I'm in my office here in Oklahoma City, or not Oklahoma City, in Crescent, Oklahoma at Marshall Ranch. And we're doing a lot of amazing things. We've got some ponds and we've got some lakes building, and we're gonna create some retreats here. We're gonna change people's lives. And you be one of those too. So come join us. It's time for a better way of thinking and processing the world. And as you do this, life gets better. So learn to love yourself, like yourself, from what you hold within yourself. I've always said that our brain is a temple, and our job consciously is to keep our brain clean. Keep our temple clean. Learn how to like yourself. This Robert. Talk to you later. Peace.